Hey brother, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Hi, sister. How are you doing?
Good, good, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me on again.
So let's just say to everybody that's listening to us right now, what are we touching on today as topics?
Okay, yep, we're going to be touching on medical astrology. Obviously, that ranges from a lot of from planetary herbs to cell sorts to meditation to yoga, crystals. There's loads of different things we're going to touch up on. So, yeah, basically, and also I'm going to just touch up on a few other little bullet points I've made.
All right, well, that's a lot of interesting topics for today. Before we start, I just wanna say something about my last crystal that I was telling you about. I did some research about it. I bought
Yep.
this crystal in Spain, and I didn't really know what was a purpose of it. So it's called the Rose Desert crystal, and it's kind of like a selenite crystal, but it has this kind of desert looking color, like brownish color, and it's really interesting because it's a crystal of the wind element, and it's made of wind, water, and sand, which
Right.
is crystallized. So it's really interesting, and it's the shape of a rose. So I don't know how this forms, but it's beautiful. And basically, the purpose of this crystal is to connect you with your angelic beings. So I never knew that, but it's so interesting because I've always wanted to connect to my angels, and this is the perfect crystal for it. It's also for power and success, and it's connected to the third eye and also to the crown chakra. So you can meditate and put it on your third eye, or you can just, put it on a crown chakra or sleep with it. And basically, it's kind of like a mediator between you and the angelic realm.
Wow, sounds interesting. Actually, I was doing some research on crystals myself and which crystals are actually beneficial for certain signs. And obviously,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you're a Leo, I checked up a few different ones, and the crystals that are good for Leos
Mm-hmm.
are blue tiger's eye, and that's good for insight. Then you have onyx, which is good for grounding, and then mahogany obsidian, which is also for grounding. Ruby brings the
Yeah.
best out of a Leo, which it brings out their exuberance. Also, Petersite helps find their place in the bigger picture. And you have also other stuff like garnet, which gives energy, and amber, which is for cleansing. And also, amber is like an orange color, which uh, corresponds with Leo, as Leo is ruled by the sun as well. So I've been looking into like how um, basically different star signs have different positive and negative what's the word, attributes. So
Mm-hmm.
these particular crystals are suitable for Leo's attributes. I also looked up stuff for like Taurus and Gemini and Scorpio as well. So like
Mm.
the Scorpio, like for myself, it would be like smoky quartz, aquamarine, rose quartz, malachite. For Taurus, you got copper, jade, black onyx. Aquarius, there's aquamarine, amethyst. Gemini, you got agate and aquamarine also, and yeah, these crystals have specific benefits which suit certain signs.
So are you saying that if you put like a different crystal, it's not gonna influence you positive, or you mean that it's not gonna be as strong as it? Because I have like a yellow and orange citrine, which is supposedly really good for citrine, especially the yellow citrine is good for Leos because it's the sun. The
Yep.
citrine's all about like the sun. But
Yep.
for example, tourmaline, I know it's for grounding, but what do you mean that if it's not good for Leo, I should not use it, or?
No, no, no. It doesn't mean that. It just means that basically there's specific crystals that are suitable for people with a specific star sign or a sun sign, because it helps with
Mm-hmm.
their the particular attributes that that sign has. So, for argument's sake,
Yeah.
um, according to the research I've done, like Scorpios are known for, like, it says that they're prone to depression. So smoky quartz helps them protect themselves from like the negative energies that a Scorpio would have, because obviously Scorpio rules the lower chakras.
Yes,
So
correct.
this particular crystal will help balance out that chakra. That's all it means, basically. It's not that you can use any one, but it was just saying that there's particular crystals that will help particular star signs better, basically. That's all I was trying
Yeah,
to
so it's like a better fit.
say. Yeah, basically.
Do you know anything about oh, I forgot what was the Moldavite? Have you had any
Moldavite.
research on Moldavite? Yeah.
No, to be honest, crystals is not my strongest point. It's something I've really been looking into more recently. I think
Mm-hmm.
you're probably more have a more vast knowledge of crystals.
Yeah. Well, Moldavite is supposedly connected to like transformation, like rapid spiritual evolution. It's a chakra activation, cleansing, protection, and it's connected to the ascension of the heart.
Yep,
So it's the element of the storm, but connects to basically mostly all the chakras from like heart up, like third eye, crown, and heart chakra.
yep,
It is due to my research and the books that I've read about. The Moldavite is the stone that initiates like a really high awareness, and
yep,
it's coming from another planet. So it basically gives you a lot of power when you have it, and it's a really, really high vibration. It's one of the most highest vibration of crystals.
yep.
It's really hard to find nowadays because there's a lot of duplicates, like fake ones that they
Yep,
have.
yep, replicas.
Yeah, so it's really, really hard to find. It's connected also the ancients called it like the emerald, and
Yep,
also the stone of the fallen from the sky, or the holy grail even. So it's a really ancient stone.
yep. Wow. Yeah, this is all new knowledge for me. I have been researching crystals. I've bought some as well. I've done a few like meditations with music and stuff, and like
Mhm.
I've just basically, the way I did it originally was I just got all the seven colors of the chakras, and I just place them along my body and just put
Yeah.
light music on, and I've meditated that way. But it's an area which I want to learn more about and get more into.
Yeah, but there are a lot of crystals that they do give you different sensations. For example, when I hold my selenite wand, like grab it hard with my two hands, it gives me like a really warm sensation. Even my hands start sweating, like I can feel the heat from the stone. But for example, the Moldavite's energy, it's really, really, it can actually make you even dizzy. Like the
Wow.
energies can cause pulsation in the hands, tingling in the third eye chakra and in the heart chakra, and really make you dizzy. I have a friend of mine in America. He bought one, a real one, and he was wearing it as a necklace, and told me that he was feeling dizzy all the time, and he had to remove it because he couldn't bear the energies for a long time. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that with black obsidian, the one I have, I did it in like bathing one day, and obviously
Yeah.
probably because it reacts to the water as well. I noticed that that one got very hot
Yeah.
out of all of them. So
Wow.
yeah, so I've had that experience with crystals as well before. Whereas they obviously different ones react to different temperatures and energies. So
True. True. I hope you didn't make the mistake like me. I put like my selenite wand in the water and and I ruined it. One.
no, none of mine got ruined, but yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that effect of like it was a bit of a burning effect.
Well, at least you didn't ruin it. I had to bury it and put it back into earth, so at least it can give some nice vibration to the earth.
Yeah,
You know, if it was falling apart. So, how about you speak more about, enlighten me more about the astrology, the medicine in astrology?
yeah. Well, basically, if people are not aware, basically we have 12 cell sorts. Well, there are 12 natural cell sorts, one cell sort for each zodiac sign. So
Yeah.
obviously, we're in our mother's womb for 9 months. So we only get nine of those cell sorts and minerals. So we're deficient of three of those sorts. And
Mhm.
as we know, the zodiac is within the body. So starting from the top, we have Aries, and then to the bottom of the feet we've got Pisces. And what the main understanding is the three signs you're deficient of, the three sorts relating to the three signs you're deficient of, are where you would have maybe some kind of not just maybe a medical problem or maybe a physical problem in your body. Like for example, like my mother is an Aquarius, and so after Aquarius would be. So what you do is you count the sign you're born in and the two after. So the salt she would be deficient in would be the Aquarius salt, which is sodium chloride, the
Mhm.
Pisces salt, which is ferrous phosphate, and the Aries salt, which is potassium phosphate. And
Mhm.
basically, what we can do is once we know which salts we're deficient of, we can order these salts. They're like little, not tablets, but like they're all like really small tablets, and you can have them like 3 times a day, and that balances out your body. But
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
also particular foods that have these salts in them, so you can um, replenish their minerals by eating certain foods. So in your case, you're a Leo. So
Yeah.
the three salts that you would be deficient of is magnesium phosphate,
Mhm.
potassium sulfate, and calcium sulfate. So for magnesium phosphate, what that salt and mineral is good for is that it helps healthy nerve tissues and assist in nerve transformation. And the foods that are good for that are cauliflower, cabbage, asparagus, almonds, lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruit, figs, and cherries. So
Oh, I love pigs. So I understand that because magnesium, I just sprayed my whole body before I took a shower with the magnesium oil because I know
yeah,
I'm getting deficient, and when I get like really tired, I know I'm deficient in magnesium. So I do use the cell salts, and this is what brings me to the thought. You know how after Leo there is Virgo and then Libra,
yeah,
and I just took it from the kidney stones a while ago, which is Libra.
yeah.
And
Wow.
I just found myself so for the Libra. Like, I mean, right before we started the talk, and I took some of it. And I'm like, wow, I haven't been taking this salt for like years. You know,
Oh
I've
wow.
had it somewhere, but couldn't find it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. The for Libra is sodium phosphate, and the foods for that are brown rice, tomato, citrus fruit, lentils, vegetables, asparagus, and parsley are the foods that have that salt in it.
Hmm.
So
So you
basically,
need more parsley.
yeah. So basically, once you know, obviously you know your sign, and then you check the two signs after, and then that's what stuff you'll be deficient in, basically. But also, separate from this, there are also like foods that each sign should avoid as
Mm-hmm.
well. So in your case, it would be like for Leo, you would have to have garlic, ginger, cinnamon, cayenne, pepper, dark berries, cherries, pomegranate, leafy greens, and root vegetables are the other foods that are good for you. Like in my case, with Scorpio, the things that I have to avoid are alcohol, coffee, too much bananas, which unfortunately I love, avocado, pineapple, and chocolate. But the foods I need are beans, leafy greens, lysine foods, and lemon tea. So
What did you
each sign,
say that I need to avoid? Because I didn't hear, like, I heard like
uh,
so many of them. So
yeah. Do you know what? Actually, out of all the ones, I actually forgot to put Leo's one, but I can find that out for you.
oh, really? So
Yeah,
all the things that you said I should eat, right? Because you
yeah,
said like
that's right.
leafy
Yeah,
greens, like berries, and I'm like, oh my God, this is all my favorite food, like
yeah.
garlic, ginger. I love all of those things.
Because obviously Leo rules the heart, and them kind of spicy, bitter kind of things, they're all good for the heart. Because I don't know if you're aware, but I found out a stat actually that in India they have the lowest rate of
Heart
heart
attack.
disease because they eat a lot of spicy foods.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like the cayenne pepper is like the fuel for like the heart, and you
Exactly.
know this like turmeric, for example, is so good.
Yeah. And also, they relate to like the chakras as well. So, like the color of the food
Mhm.
is good for the chakras because obviously, like turmeric's good for your stomach.
Mhm.
So, like that's like a orangey color, isn't it? So that's like your solar plexus and
Mhm.
not solar plexus. Should I say the sacral and solar plexus? Yeah, both of them.
Also, the same goes for clothes. When you put like clothes on you, which are just like different colors, they relate to different chakras.
Exactly. Yeah, this also works with like I don't know if you know much about planetary herbs.
I don't have that much of a research.
Yeah,
I know you
well,
guys sent me that book. I don't know where I put it, so if you can resend it to me,
yeah.
you and Cosmic were talking about, and this is like an amazing book with all the herbs that they're connected to different planets, but I lost it somewhere.
So, like for argument's sake, if you're feeling down
Yeah.
and you want to kind of revitalize yourself, you would take a plant that is in relation to the sun. So, a plant that's in relation to the sun is St. John's wort, basically. And what it is it's a yellow plant, obviously, and it grows in the plant relates to the planet or the celestial star. Basically, also where it grows is important. So, for example, St. John's wort grows in an open field where it can gain the sun. That's why it's related to the sun. Whereas if you got something like mugwort and artemisia, that's related to the moon. So it's grown in more like less lighter places. It's grown
Mhm.
in more damper places, and also it gives you different effects. So, like for argument's sake, St. John's wort, which is related to the sun, will give you like that boost up when you're, how can I say, when you're not feeling motivated. You have that sun energy to give you that boost. And for argument's sake, mugwort, which is related to the moon, that corresponds with like lucid dreaming and like your emotions and going to like the astral realm and tapping into that realm. And obviously, there's a plant called Devil's Club, and that's all that has like red berries, and it's like related to Mars, and also it has like a lot of sharp, prickly things. So, and Mars is about war and passion. So each plant's structure and color and where it's grown relates to what planet it's associated with.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
yeah, and like you got Venus, which is like wild rose. The plant wild rose is associated with Venus, and they use this to like relax your tissues because obviously Venus is a very like sensual and like a planet about love. So the the plant has the attributes of the planet as well, and that attribute is what heals you.
Wow, this gives you so much more insight when you look at a plant.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
purple plant, so it's gotta be, it's definitely not the sun.
Yeah,
It's gotta.
exactly.
So what
Yeah,
about
so
Uranus, the higher octaves of the planets? Are there
uh,
any specific plans for them?
I haven't looked at Uranus. I've just like checked like the main
The
seven,
main seven planets, yep.
but yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting and it makes a lot of sense. If you have like a basic knowledge of astrology, you will pick this up easily. Do you get what I mean? But for someone who has got no knowledge of astrology, they will just think, "Oh my God, what are we talking about?"
Yeah, it would seem really complicated. What about lavender? Lavender is kind of like purpley
Yeah,
blue. So is it connected to the throat chakra
yeah.
or?
I guess it would be connected to like the higher chakras, the third eye and the
Mm-hmm.
crown chakra.
Yeah, because it's soothing and it's like also relaxing,
Yeah,
and it's really good for the nerve system because it
yeah.
relaxes nerves.
I know I've read about rosemary is very good for increasing memory.
Mm.
Apparently, if you smell rosemary, it increases your memory by 75%. I haven't tried this. It's just,
I'll try it. I have some rosemary essential oils here in stock, so I might give it a try.
yeah,
I think back with that.
yeah. There's a couple of. Is there anything you wanted to talk about? There's a few other like notes I've made, but unless
No,
you,
no, you go for it.
yeah,
No.
I came across a Venezuelan astrologer called Manuel Rufino, and he was talking about how birth charts and planets that are in particular birth charts. And another thing that I found really interesting was he said um, if a planet's in a particular sign, like attached to a specific quadruplicity, like for example, I have Moon in Taurus.
Yeah.
So Taurus is a fixed sign,
Mm-hmm.
so that means that the Moon will, because it's in a fixed sign, that I will always have that problem throughout my life. But if it's in a cardinal sign, it means you might get that problem, but it will go away. So
Mm-hmm.
the planet, depending on which modality he's in, will also affect certain health uh, problems within your body.
Hmm.
So I guess it's good to have planets not in fixed signs, if that makes sense, because then you won't have a fixed problem.
In a fixed sign. Because
Yeah,
we both have the moons in Taurus, so what is that
yeah.
supposed to mean?
Uh, well, Moon's about emotion, and obviously Taurus rules like the mouth and throat area. So that could mean like maybe emotional eating or bad throat, or it's something to do with that area basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like so with me, I have. Sorry to cut you off, sister. I have. Sometimes I've always got like a dry throat, and
Mm-hmm.
I checked my birth chart, and I have Saturn opposing um, Taurus, and Saturn's a cold and dry planet. So what you would do,
Mm-hmm.
it means you would have to have plenty of liquids and like hot teas to get rid of that dryness.
Wow. Never seen it that way, but I do know that since I was little, I always had problems with my throat, like always. If
Yeah,
there's a flu or if there was something, I'll get like constant sore throat, or my tonsils gonna get infected, and that's why I had them even removed because I
yeah,
would get like every flu or anything happening in the throat, I'll get it. So this is really recalling now as I
yeah.
remember my childhood.
Yeah. See, that's what I love about astrology. I have them same flashbacks. I think,
Hmm.
oh, now I know why I'm like this, or why this was like that, or do you get what I mean? So it kind of, like you said, it brings it back to you. But just to touch up on one last thing as well, and then I'll pass it on to you because I know you do yoga and practice yoga. I was also looking about how um, there are different positions and poses in yoga for different star signs, and I didn't know this, and I found that really interesting. Basically,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So like for Leo, the pose for Leo is called I think it's in like Vedic. It's called uh, Majaraya Asana, and basically I'll read you the notes of what it says.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's bear with me for a minute. Just okay. It says the feline-inspired postures reflects the spirit of your animal totem, the lion, while also gently opening up your middle back, creating more space in the Leo-ruled heart. How to do the posture? Place your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Your neck should be in a neutral position with your eyes gazing towards the floor. Exhale and round your back towards the ceiling. Release your head between your arms so the crown of your head points towards the floor. Hold for several sections. Inhale, move your spine back to the tabletop position, staying there for several seconds and repeat in a sequence of 10 times. So different signs have different postures which balance their energy better. Like,
Wow, I should definitely try this one
yeah,
because I've never sold yoga like this because as you know, I have this little book of yoga with all those, different posture like a bow pose or, chair or, the cat pose and like every different pose, but I've never sold them as, connection to the signs.
yeah,
So,
likewise as well. I was really shocked. I was like, oh wow, that's really interesting because I've never seen that as well until I was doing some research. This is again from that Venezuelan astrologer. He's called Manuel Rufino. He's actually really cool. He's brought up a lot of stuff that I haven't heard other astrologers bring up, and I found it really, really interesting.
wow. So I would like to know more about that.
Yeah, I can send you the link. I'll send you the link to have a
Right.
read.
So is there anything you want to talk about more?
Okay. Other other things that I came across was about how the fourth and 10th house are your genetic influences. I don't know if you was aware of this.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, apparently, according to Manuel Rufino, the fourth and 10th house are your mother's and father's genetic influences in your body.
The what? The fourth and the 10th?
Yeah,
Okay, you got me on this one. So,
yeah, but that's basically, yeah, that's just it's just something I came across. I haven't looked into it more deeply, but these are just like odd notes that I've made, um, separate from the main things that I was talking about.
hmm
Yeah, I was just wondering if you're aware of that.
no, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware of that. But well, I knew that the fourth house rules like home,
Yeah,
but I didn't know that it's connected. Is it connected to the mother?
um, it just said I can't remember specifically, but I remember him saying fourth and 10th house are your genetic influences.
Mm. It must be because the 10th house is all about career and
Yeah,
growth. So it must be driven more, probably more by the male
yep,
energy.
yep, and obviously the fourth house would be your mother.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, also like other stuff I've looked into in terms of medical astrology. I don't know if you've seen the work of Santos Bonacci. He does a thing called the Christ Within, and he
Mm-hmm.
explains about how we produce a cerebro spinal fluid which drips from our pineal gland, and it goes down towards our sacral area. And when the moon is in your sun sign,
Mm-hmm.
every month it plants like a germ. And obviously, if you don't squander that germ through like ejaculation, and like you practice tantric sex and you eat healthy, more healthier, that seed kind of goes back up towards your like pineal gland, and once it hits your pineal gland, it activates your pineal gland, and this is where you like have more spiritual experiences, because what it does, it kind of it once it hits the pineal gland, it magnifies and it produces new blood cells, and also it activates the dormant cells within your body.
So when the moon is in your sun sign, you need to be more.
Yeah, you need to be more disciplined, and so you can basically, because you raise this oil, because the oil comes down, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to basically raise the oil back up to get um the effects of it, basically. So if we squander the oil all the time, then this is why many people can't tap into spiritual or more astral stuff, because we practice sex and we eat meat, and obviously so the body's not running properly. And this basically all corresponds with how the sun works, because basically it's like when the sun when the seed goes to your sacral chakra and plants the seed, it's like it's at the Tropic of Capricorn. But when it comes back up, it's like it's at the Tropic of Cancer, basically. So it's like the cycle of the sun. And when it gets to your third eye, it stays there for 3 days and then explodes. And this is also symbology of the whole Jesus and the sun resurrecting. So also, you know, we say as above, so below. It's as without, so within as well. This is a very interesting science. I suggest people watch it. It's called The Christ Within by Santos Bonacci.
Wow. So basically, we need to be more aware when the moon is in our sun and be more
Yeah,
disciplined,
yeah,
so we can read the auras and get into the higher planes.
yeah,
Another thing I was reading today was about the, how all the, the Fibonacci and all those. Hi, brother. Sorry about that. It cut off on
no
the.
problem, sister. You was talking about the Fibonacci sequence before.
Yeah, I was talking about Fibonacci, and then I was talking about the music. So basically, when we are tuned to 2 megahertz of the frequency,
Yeah,
it's all about our creativity. It will enhance all our insight. Will be really intuitive and creative. So I think that the mass media knew about that, so they wanted to do like a trap on people to put us into like fear mode and then be creative. So what they did is they've changed the frequency to 440
yeah. I've
instead of
spoken about this in
42.
one of my podcasts, actually, in one of my shows.
Yeah, if you know more of this, you can give us more insight.
Yeah, no, I know that specific point you just made, but what I know that you said, like it's kind of to put us out of sync with nature. This corresponds with why they have the new year at Capricorn as well, because really the true spiritual new year is March the 21st. But
Mm-hmm.
what they do, they start off the year like 3 months prior, so we're kind of out of sync with nature. this also corresponds with, if you think about it, the day starts at 12 midnight, doesn't it? Like the new day. But
Yeah.
how can the day start at night? Does that make sense? Really, the day should start at 6 p.m. at 6 a.m. when the sun rises, but they start it at 12 noon because again, it's all about pushing people out of sync with nature. So that's what.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very, very clever, but obviously, once we find these things out, then we can kind of readjust ourselves to it.
True. We can celebrate the New Year in March 21st again, you know.
Yep. It's weird because, like, the Jewish Judaism, they celebrate New Year in like Libra on the 23rd of September. Different traditions have different New Years for different reasons.
So do you know this, when you just said this, that leads me to the thought, because, you know, every year it's the year of something. For example, if it was the year of Taurus, maybe the year was celebrated, like, I mean, past, in like ancient times.
Yeah.
They've decided they'll celebrate year in April because it's, you know, Taurus is in April. And maybe that's the case of why they celebrate it in Libra or in, you know.
Yeah. Now I think their New Year starts then because I think you know, like in the Judaism they talk about like the Seth and all that because Saturn exalts in Libra.
Yeah.
And I think their doctrine is very Saturnian based. I think that's the main reason.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, I
yeah, it's
see.
like
So
it's the Chinese New Year at the moment. Do you get what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like
It is more.
different cultures concentrate on different energies and parts of the year.
So you want to say that the Chinese New Year starts at Aquarius?
Yeah, but the Chinese New Year, I was reading about it. It corresponds with like it goes with the lunar mansions. It's not really to do with the sun. It's more to do with the lunar mansions. Because their zodiac's different from ours because they have like the animals, don't they? We have animals as well, but like their one is like I don't know if you know your one, but in
I know I'm a monkey.
oh, you're a monkey, yeah. It's weird. I was talking to Cosmic. He's a monkey as well, but yeah, I'm the year of the pig. But it's every 12 years. So the next one, if I because I was born in '83, so the year of the pig would come back again in '95. So it's every 12 years. It's a bit of a different system, but I've looked into it briefly.
It is a different system. It's different cycles. They do have different cycles.
Yeah,
And you
a lot
know,
of
the animals that they have chosen, you know, gives a different kind of like spice to the character of a person, rather than, you know, like a monkey is really adaptive. It steals, you know, it can be the clown of the center of the attention, but it can also be the clown, and
yeah,
you know, everybody's happy or whatever. But when you look at the lion, it kind of has the same characteristic, but not the same, because the lion is never gonna want to pretend to be a monkey or be like foolish. You know what I mean? A
yeah,
lion is a lion. He wants confidence. He wants everybody to be scared of it. He wants to, you know, be honored and stuff like that. Wow, the monkey is a different character.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like me. I'm a scorpion and a pig, so it's two different things. But I guess we probably do have all these energies within us, so that's why they pick these animals. Do you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
we have all these things within us, like subconsciously, but it's just so this is what I always explain to people. Like some people think that, oh, why have they chosen a ram for Aries, or why have they chosen? But people think that it's actually nothing to do with what the stars look like. It's more the time of the year symbolizes the energy of that animal. So,
Yeah.
spring is like it's fiery because it's like a burst of energy. So that's why it's the ram.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Taurus, which is an earth sign, is more earthy because it's a bit calmer than the initial burst. So each animal's ways correspond with the energy of the time of the year, basically. That's the way I see it, and I've learned. And also, as well, just to finish up quickly, the reason why the two animals at the beginning are horned is because that symbolizes like the Taurus field.
Yeah.
The horns opening symbolizes the Taurus field opening. So it symbolizes like beginning and like a new start, basically.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So yeah,
So
that's it.
much knowledge we shared today with our audience. I hope they have learned something
Yeah,
relevantly new. And we'll give them more insights at next weekend when we're gonna gather again and share some knowledge.
yeah, yeah. Well, we just want to say thanks again for having me on this platform. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed that last show we did as well. So yeah, see you guys soon.
So brother, it's me too. I love this platform too, sharing some thoughts. Thank you guys for listening to us and being here. And we'll talk more next week. And
Peace.
peace. Bye bye.
Peace.